Heroes do not die. Heroes are among us. They live in our hearts. Voloh Maksym, call sign Diesel, was a private in the 244th Battalion of the 112th Separate Territorial Defense Brigade of Ukraine. He was born on the 5th of April, 1981, in the city of Salsk, Rostov Oblast, in a family of servicemen. As a child, he was cheerful, curious, and very intelligent. Since his father was a military officer, the family did not have a permanent residence. In 1987, the family moved to the city of Grozny in the Chechen Ingush Autonomous Republic. That same year, he started the first grade at secondary school number 46 in Grozny. Maksym loved reading from a very young age, and this extraordinary love for books remained with him throughout his life. At the age of 8, he began keeping a journal, which started with the words, "How good it is to live in the world. If there is no war in the world, we do not need it." However, by 1992, Maksym learned what war was. In that same year, the family moved to the city of Vasilkiv, Kyiv Oblast, where they settled permanently. Maksym continued his education at the local school number 8. He studied diligently, never had any reprimands, and had an impeccable record. All the teachers respected and loved him. His English teacher instilled in him a love for the subject. And in the future, Maksym sought information about world events from English language websites and the New York Times newspaper. When Maksym turned 13, he became interested in history, particularly the history of the Second World War. He sought out books with archival document photos and was interested in memoirs of Wehrmacht commanders of various ranks. Some books were in their original language, so he began learning German. He drew maps himself, created a game where he reenacted scenes from the most significant battles of the Second World War, worked out different scenarios on the battlefield, and analyzed the causes of defeats. It was probably then that he decided to become a soldier. In 1995, after finishing the 9th grade, Maksym entered the Kiev Military Lyceum, named after Ivan Bohun. He hoped that this education would provide even more knowledge and military skills for his future profession. However, the reality was different and brought only disappointment with the system and methods of teaching. He graduated from the Lyceum almost with honors and received a certificate for special achievements in studying the history of Ukraine, world history, and English. His teachers were impressed by his thirst for knowledge. Perhaps Ukraine lost one of its best soldiers in the future. He later graduated from the Institute of Special Communication and Information Protection at Kyiv Polytechnic Institute. In 2004, to gain access to archives, Maksym enrolled in the historical faculty of Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv as a part-time student. Maksym worked in various jobs, including at the pharmaceutical company Optima Farm. Before the war, he worked at the Saxon Club. His mother recalls that colleagues valued him both as a specialist and as an exceptionally modest, kind, and attentive person. He always responded to any request for help. Maksym was an exceptionally loving and caring son. His mother was the most precious person to him. He loved and raised his nephews. Unfortunately, he did not manage to start his own family. Maksym also loved animals very much. His Siamese cat, his favorite, always waited for him from work. And no matter how tired he was, they always went for a walk together. Maksym was a passionate patriot. He loved people and Ukraine above all. He was deeply concerned about its fate. Thus, he was very distressed by the occupation of Crimea. He tried to join the anti-terrorist operation, but he was not accepted due to health reasons. On the 24th of February 2022, Maksym could barely wait until 8 in the morning and rush to the recruitment office. But he was not accepted as a volunteer because his personal file could not be found at the local recruitment center. But Maksym did not give up. He immediately went to Kyiv. He was wearing mid-season sneakers, simple sports pants, and a not very warm jacket. There, he joined the Kyiv Territorial Defense, the 112th Separate Brigade, where he met his comrades with whom he stood shoulder to shoulder until the very end. On the 25th of February, Maksym was already in the trenches near Vyshgorod. Maksym recalled how at night, everyone was transported by vans to the area near Vyshgorod, where a column of Russian occupiers was advancing. Everyone was positioned in trenches, given weapons, and silence fell. Some wrote farewell messages to their loved ones, knowing that it was unlikely they would survive against the heavy weaponry of the occupiers. Everyone was left alone with their thoughts, and the only sounds in the air were the heavy, anxious breathing of those around. Even if they wipe us all out, it will never be a victory for them. But suddenly, the guys heard Grad rockets flying one after another toward the orcs from behind them. The emotions, the state, were indescribable. Incredible unity, strength, and faith in the people around. It was a special night for Maksym. Because Maksym reacted calmly to everything, his comrades initially perceived it as uncertainty. But crisis situations made them understand that he would never leave anyone in trouble, that if he had to give his life to save others, he would. Comrades recall one time when he lagged a bit behind the armored personnel carrier that was evacuating them under fire from their position. Maksym shouted after them, telling them to leave him behind while they saved themselves. But his comrades rescued him. Maksym was an example of courage, valor, and self-sacrifice. Maksym had the most trips to zero line of all the soldiers in his platoon. The war for the freedom and future of Ukraine revealed a spirit and bravery in Maksym that no one had even suspected. From late August 2022, Maksym defended the city of Vovchansk in Kharkiv Oblast. He returned for rotation in December 2022. At the end of February 2023, Maksym went to the hottest frontline area near Crimea. In such areas, everyone in the trenches are heroes of Ukraine. On the 5th of April, he celebrated his birthday, turning 42, but on the 11th of April, he was killed. It turned out that Maksym planned to write a memoir about the war, about his experiences and observations, about the war as it is, without embellishments. But he probably sensed that his next sortie would be his last. A few hours before his death, he wrote only a small excerpt of his war against the occupiers and sent this message to his sister. 2 days later, Maksym was struck by an enemy sniper's bullet. The hero was posthumously awarded the Order of For Courage of the 3rd class. The best go first. Eternal glory and honor to the hero.